The trailer has dropped, and fans are losing their minds because episode 8 doesn't just look dramatic. It hints at a wedding that could flip everything we thought we knew about the summer I turned pretty. Imagine this: flowers, vows, and the sound of wedding bells, but instead of bringing joy, the trailer makes us feel uneasy, like something isn't quite right. And that's exactly the point. This is not your usual romantic ending. This is the moment where everything comes crashing together: love, loyalty, heartbreak, and a choice that will change Belly's life forever. What makes this trailer stand out is how quickly it pulls us into the chaos. The very first shots are enough to raise goosebumps: soft focus on wedding decorations, guests moving in slow motion, and Belly caught in the middle, looking torn between two paths. The tension is electric. It doesn't just tease a wedding. It teases a betrayal, a truth bomb, or maybe even a last-minute twist that nobody sees coming. That's why episode 8 is being called the biggest turning point of the season. The trailer uses silence almost as powerfully as dialogue. There are pauses where you hear nothing but Belly's shaky breath, and those moments tell us more than words ever could. We see her glance at Conrad, then at Jeremiah, and you can practically feel the weight pressing on her shoulders. It's not just about choosing a partner, it's about choosing a future. And the fact that the trailer centers this choice around a wedding, a symbol of commitment, shows us that the writers are ready to raise the stakes higher than ever before. But here's what makes it truly shocking. Nothing in this show has ever been simple, so we can't just take the wedding at face value. Is it real? Is it a dream sequence? Or maybe it's a fake-out design to pull our emotions in one direction before ripping us apart in another. The creators of The Summer I Turned Pretty love misdirection, and this trailer proves they know how to play with fans' expectations. The editing feels intentional: fast cuts, lingering stares. Even the choice of background music, all crafted to spark theories and debates. At the heart of this setup is Belly's emotional journey. Episode 7 left us with a storm of feelings, and now episode 8 is positioning itself as the storm's climax. Every scene in the trailer is built to remind us of how far Belly has come, from the carefree summers of Season 1 to the complicated choices of Season 3. It's no longer about crushes or teenage romance. It's about real consequences, real heartbreak, and possibly losing people she loves forever. That's why the trailer's wedding imagery feels so haunting, because behind the smiles and flowers, there's pain hiding in plain sight. And let's not forget the fandom's reaction. The internet exploded the second this trailer dropped. Fans are already divided into camps, each claiming the wedding is proof of their theory. Some believe it's Belly finally choosing Jeremiah, while others swear it's a misdirection before. Conrad makes a grand confession. And then, of course, there are those who think Belly might walk away from both brothers, leaving the wedding as a symbol of what could have been, not what will be. No matter which theory you lean toward, one thing is clear: episode 8 will leave us all stunned. So, as we step into this breakdown, remember that this isn't just another teaser. This is the showrunners telling us that the finale won't play it safe. They're going for impact: emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable. And the wedding twist? That's the centerpiece, the spark that will ignite everything we've been waiting for. Episode 8 isn't just an ending. It's the moment the entire season has been building toward. The wedding setup in the trailer is one of the most jaw-dropping reveals of the season so far, and the way it's presented makes it impossible to ignore. We don't just see hints, we see chairs lined up in perfect rows, delicate flowers hanging over arches, and people dressed as though they're ready to witness vows being exchanged. It feels real, it feels permanent. And yet, the more you look, the more you realize that something about the scene doesn't sit right. This isn't the fairy tale wedding fans have been expecting. It's a wedding staged in the middle of heartbreak, and the trailer wants us to question every single frame. The editing is clever, almost too clever. Instead of giving us one clean shot of the bride walking down the aisle, we get flashes, snippets of a dress, a close-up of nervous hands, and shadows that never let us fully see who's standing at the altar. It's as if the creators are dangling the truth right in front of us but pulling it away at the last second. This technique makes fans wonder, is this Belly's wedding or is someone else at the center of it all? Could it even be a flash forward to the future? The mystery is deliberate because the entire fandom is now locked in debates about whether Belly is the bride, or if the wedding belongs to another character entirely. One of the strongest visual clues is the setting itself. The location looks familiar, almost like the iconic Cousins Beach backdrop that has been central to Belly's summers. If this really is a wedding at Cousins, then it isn't just about marriage, it's about tying the most important moments of Belly's youth to a single, life-changing decision. The beach has always been a symbol of freedom, of beginnings and endings, so setting a wedding here makes perfect sense for the show's emotional climax. But at the same time, it's heartbreaking to think that a place filled with memories of laughter and young love could also become the place of a final goodbye. Then there's the question of who's waiting at the altar. The trailer is intentionally vague, but the body language of the two Fisher brothers gives us subtle hints. Jeremiah is shown smiling in one cut, his face filled with hope, while Conrad appears in another shot, but his expression is harder to read, almost distant, almost as if he's preparing himself to lose Belly once again. It's no accident that the trailer puts these two moments side by side. The showrunners know fans are divided, and this is their way of stoking the fire, making us believe the wedding could belong to either brother, depending on how closely we look, but maybe the most powerful clue lies in the way Belly is framed. In nearly every wedding shot, the camera lingers on her reaction instead of the actual ceremony. Her eyes dart around, her lips pressed tightly as though she's holding back words she can't speak, and her entire body language screams hesitation. This is not a bride who is certain about her choice. This is someone who looks like she's about to collapse under the weight of expectation. And that hesitation is what makes the wedding sequence so haunting. Weddings are supposed to be joyful, but here the happiness feels forced, fragile, as though one wrong move could shatter everything. Another layer that can't be ignored is the possibility that the wedding isn't real at all. The trailer could be showing us a fantasy sequence, a dream, or even a vision of what could happen if Belly chooses wrong. Shows like The Summer I Turned Pretty love to use imagery to symbolize inner conflict. And this wedding could be less about reality and more about Belly's subconscious screaming at her. Maybe it's her greatest fear to end up at the altar with the wrong person. Or maybe it's her greatest hope, clouded by guilt and uncertainty. The fact that we don't know for sure is what makes this sequence so addictive to analyze. And let's not forget the supporting characters. Quick glimpses of Laurel, Stephen, and Susanna's memory woven into the background suggests that the wedding isn't just about Belly's choice. It's about family, legacy, and the emotional scars left behind. Laurel, in particular, looks like she's holding back tears in one of the shots, which adds another layer of tension. Is she mourning the fact that Belly might be rushing into something, or is she proud, even though it hurts? These split-second reactions matter because in a show that thrives on emotional weight, every character carries a piece of the story. So, as the wedding setup unfolds in the trailer, we're left with a mix of beauty and dread. The decorations, the setting, the smiles, all of it looks like a celebration, but the undercurrent of doubt, hesitation, and heartbreak is impossible to ignore. This isn't just a wedding, it's a battlefield dressed in flowers and white fabric. And whether it's real or just a vision, it tells us that episode 8 is about forcing Belly to confront the ultimate question. Is she really ready to choose? Or is this wedding just the beginning of an even bigger twist? Asterisk, the heart of the trailer isn't the flowers or the wedding decorations, it's Belly herself. Every frame of her in episode 8's teaser is soaked in raw emotion. And what makes it so powerful is that you can see her tearing apart inside without her saying a single word. Her eyes tell the whole story. They're restless, searching, full of both longing and dread, as though she's standing at the edge of a cliff and has no idea which way to fall. That is the true center of this wedding twist, the fact that Belly doesn't look like a girl about to celebrate the happiest day of her life. She looks like someone being asked to make a choice that could destroy her. From the very beginning of The Summer I Turned Pretty, Belly's journey has been about growing up, about finding herself while being pulled in opposite directions by love and loyalty. In season 3, that push and pull has become unbearable, and the trailer captures that weight perfectly. One moment we see her sharing a lingering look with Jeremiah, who seems warm, stable, and hopeful. The next moment she's caught staring at Conrad, who, even in silence, radiates an intensity that shakes her to her core. Both boys represent very different paths. And episode 8 frames this decision not as a crush or a fling, but as a life-altering moment. It's no longer about who gives her butterflies, it's about who she's willing to build a future with, but the problem is, Belly doesn't know what she wants. The trailer doesn't show confidence in her expression. It shows hesitation, fear, and maybe even regret. She holds herself stiffly in the wedding scenes, as though the dress weighs 1,000 pounds. Her voice, when we hear it in faint snippets, is shaky, like someone trying to convince herself that she's making the right choice even though her heart isn't sure. That's what makes this so heartbreaking. Belly is in a position where no choice feels right. Choosing Jeremiah could mean betraying the deeper bond she's always had with Conrad. Choosing Conrad could mean hurting Jeremiah, who has always been the one to stand by her side. And walking away from both might mean losing the Fisher family completely. The emotional conflict reaches its peak in one chilling moment from the trailer. Belly is shown standing in front of a mirror, gripping the edge of the sink, her breathing uneven. It's not a glamorous bridal moment. It's the image of someone suffocating under pressure. That shot tells us everything. She isn't just battling between two brothers, she's battling herself. She's questioning her own heart, her own choices, and whether she even deserves happiness after the chaos that has unfolded. That's why fans are calling this the most emotionally intense episode yet, because Belly's conflict feels brutally real, like the kind of decision none of us ever want to make, but all of us fear. Another layer that adds to her turmoil is the way the trailer uses silence and music. The soundtrack dips into haunting piano notes during her close-ups, letting her facial expressions carry the weight. There are no clear answers in her gaze, only endless possibilities, and that's exactly why the audience is so invested. We're not watching a love triangle anymore. We're watching a young woman wrestle with identity, responsibility, and the terrifying possibility that she might break her own heart no matter what she does. The fandom reaction proves just how effective this trailer is. Some viewers argue that Belly's lingering looks at Conrad mean she's still deeply in love with him, even if she tries to hide it. Others point out the warmth in Jeremiah's presence, saying Belly's hesitation is just nerves before committing to someone safe and supportive. And then there are those who think her hesitation means something bigger, that maybe Belly won't choose either of them, because her true conflict isn't between Conrad and Jeremiah, but between who she was and who she wants to be. This theory gains strength when you consider how much Belly has changed. She's no longer the carefree girl from Cousins Beach summers. She's been through grief, heartbreak, and impossible choices. The trailer shows us a Belly who is older, wiser, but also broken in new ways. That's what makes her conflict so captivating. It's not black and white, it's shades of gray. It's about history, loyalty, and the terrifying weight of forever. At its core, Belly's emotional conflict in episode 8 isn't just about which boy she loves more, it's about whether she's brave enough to love herself enough to make the right choice. The wedding is just the stage. The real drama is inside her heart, where every beat feels like it's pulling her in two different directions. And until the finale airs, fans will be left dissecting every look, every breath, every tear. Deep down, we all know that whatever choice Belly makes, it will come at a devastating cost. Asterisk if the wedding backdrop is the stage. Then the real drama is the battle brewing between Conrad and Jeremiah. The trailer doesn't show an actual fistfight, but it might as well. Every glance, every pause, every unspoken word between the Fisher brothers drips with tension. This isn't just about who Belly will choose, it's about two brothers bound by love and family, being forced to stand on opposite sides of the same line. And in episode 8, that line may finally break. What makes this showdown so gripping is how different their energies feel. Jeremiah is warm, steady, smiling as though he's trying to hold everything together. He's the one who looks ready for a future, someone who wants to give Belly security and stability. Conrad, on the other hand, radiates quiet intensity. His eyes are heavy, his posture guarded, and it feels like he's carrying an invisible weight no one else can see. It's not just love, it's guilt, regret, and a desperate fear of losing Belly forever. When the trailer cuts between their faces, it feels less like a triangle and more like a collision course where someone is destined to be shattered. The brilliance of the trailer lies in how it frames both brothers in Belly's orbit. In one cut, Jeremiah is by her side, softening the moment with a gentle touch. In the next, Conrad lingers in the background, his stare loaded with emotions he doesn't dare speak aloud. It's cinematic chess. The moves are subtle, but each carries devastating consequences. Neither brother raises his voice in the clips we see, but their silence screams louder than any argument could. It's the silence of two people who know that only one of them can win, and that winning means taking everything from the other. For Jeremiah, this moment is about proving that love doesn't have to be complicated. He's been there for Belly, he's shown up when Conrad didn't, and he's made it clear that he sees a future with her. To Jeremiah, the wedding might be the final step in what feels like destiny, but Conrad? For him, it's about redemption. He's the one who always pulled away, the one who kept his walls up, and now he seems to realize that letting Belly slip away could be the greatest mistake of his life. That's why the tension between them feels so raw, because it isn't just about who Belly loves. It's about who deserves her after everything they've been through. The trailer heightens this conflict with sharp, deliberate editing. A shot of Jeremiah laughing is immediately followed by a close-up of Conrad's pained expression, as if to remind us that one's joy could be the other's heartbreak. There's even a fleeting moment where it looks like Conrad is about to say something big, something final, but the screen cuts before we hear it. Fans are already speculating that episode 8 could hold the long-awaited confession, the truth Conrad has been burying for far too long. If he finally says those words, it could change everything in an instant. What makes this battle even harder to watch is that Conrad and Jeremiah aren't just rivals, they're brothers. They've grown up together, carried each other through grief, and shared the same home filled with memories of Susanna. But love has a cruel way of turning allies into enemies. In episode 8, the weight of their history hangs over every look they exchange. It's not just about Belly, it's about losing the bond that has defined their lives. No matter how this ends, the Fisher family will never be the same. And here's the chilling part. The wedding setting makes this confrontation feel even more dramatic. Weddings are supposed to symbolize unity, but in this case, it could symbolize division. Imagine the heartbreak of one brother watching the other stand at the altar with the girl he loves. The trailer teases that possibility, and it's gut-wrenching to think about. Because whether Belly chooses Jeremiah or Conrad, one of them will be left standing in the shadows, forced to watch happiness slip away. The fandom has been quick to pick sides. Team Jeremiah argues that Belly's best chance at stability and peace lies with him, the boy who has always loved her without hesitation. Team Conrad believes true love can't be denied, that Belly's deepest connection has always been with him, no matter how messy it gets. And then there are those who think the showdown itself is the real story, that Belly won't choose either brother, and the heartbreak will leave both Conrad and Jeremiah empty-handed. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain. Episode 8 will end the debate once and for all. At the core of this final showdown lies a painful truth. Someone has to lose. The trailer makes it clear that no matter how tender Jeremiah is, no matter how intense Conrad's love may be, Belly's choice will cut one of them down, and the tragedy is that they both know it. Their eyes reveal it, the quiet acceptance that when the wedding bells ring, only one of them will be standing at Belly's side, and the other will be left broken. This is why the trailer feels less like a romance and more like a tragedy waiting to happen. Because episode 8 isn't just about who Belly loves, it's about what happens when love collides with family, loyalty, and sacrifice. The final showdown between Conrad and Jeremiah isn't just the end of a triangle. It's the end of the innocence that once defined their summers. And when the credits roll on episode 8, none of them will ever be the same again.